Hello and welcome to the Restricted Area Podcast. We are finally back after a little bit of a hiatus. We will be talking some WNBA action today, as well as starting our top 10 list for NBA lists during this off season. Before we start, you all can check out the audio only versions of this podcast the day before it hits YouTube. You can do that by checking out Amazon Music, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. And then to get us started, I'm your host, Alex Perez, joined by producer Colton Smith and co host Ben Miller.
Guys, how we
How we doing,
doing?
fellas?
Doing good, doing good. Start my new job tomorrow. I'm going to be a sales representative at TQL, so I'm looking forward to the next adventure in my life. And yeah, it's a little nervous, but everything will work out. But what about you guys?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. About wrapping up here on the summer. Got the final homestand ahead of me, and then a little work after that. So excited to get back into Cincinnati, which is something I never thought I'd say. But yeah, it's just been busy times up here for sure. And sorry about. Congratulations, by the way, Ben, on that new job. But
I
sorry we
appreciate it,
missed a
man.
couple weeks there. It's been a lot. But ready to get back and talking some ball. And it's been a while since checked in on the WNBA, and things have been heating up there. So I'm excited to talk about it.
For sure. Yeah, I got a new job finally. So finally have an in person job for the first time since graduation a couple months ago. So that'll be nice. It's always nice to get a little bit of a break, but after a while, you're like, okay, I need to do something. So it's nice
Hmm.
that I'll finally be
Mhm.
able to start getting into something. But
Yep.
let's start getting into this podcast. As I said, we will start with WNBA at least until the season ends there, while the
Mhm.
NBA is in the off season. So we'll start with the WNBA action and take a look at the standings to start off. Number one is Minnesota. Number two is New York. Number three is Atlanta. Number four is Phoenix. Number five is Indiana. Number six is Seattle. Number seven is Golden State. Eight is Las Vegas. Nine is Washington. 10 is LA. 11 is Dallas. 12 is Chicago. 13 is Connecticut. We do film this on Sunday, and the Liberty are playing right now. That standing could change, but we'll see. But with that being said, are there any storylines that have stuck out to you all? Ben, I'll go with you first.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this Dallas versus New York game earlier this week, with Dallas winning 92-82 over New York Liberty. Just looking at Dallas specifically, though, Irique Ungunbalo, I don't know if I'm saying that name right, I apologize, and Paige
Enrique
Buckner.
Gumbawale.
There we go. Thank you for the correction. And Paige Buckner, they combined for 40 points, dominant from start to finish in this game. They started out the game 23 to 9, and they played really great defense, causing a lot of turnovers. Showed a lot of potential on who they are as a team, despite being 8-21. Not really the year that they've been looking for. But when you look at New York, though, Breonna Stewart didn't play as she's still dealing with a leg injury. Which is a significant loss, especially on their offense. So she's a key part of this offense, as she has been all season. She's really good from 3 points. They had a tough night finding their shot, especially Sabrina Ionescu. They had a lot of turnovers, and yeah, they need to address these issues before they face off against Minnesota, though, because as of right now, I'm really concerned about this team.
Colton.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right back to my Atlanta Dream. It's been a dream for the Atlanta Dream. Uh, not necessarily knocking out the ballpark like the Lynx are, but they're getting wins. They just beat the Mercury on Friday. They got a win against the Lynx. I'm trying to do math, but it's been a couple weeks ago. So like those are some really key wins against teams they're going to have to beat if they want a chance at the title. And seeing them maintain and really kind of settle into this new offense and really turning a corner here has been impressive. So that's one thing. First thing I looked at when I checked back in on the standings was the Dream sticking around there, hanging out with the Liberty there in second. Or Dreams in third, Liberty in second, but right there behind half a game. So I'm excited to see what this team does because they feel like they're getting better as the season goes on. And hopefully that means that when we get to the playoffs, they'll reach a peak.
For sure, I could definitely see that. This is our first episode since I believe the All Star break, so forgive me if I'm a little long winded, but I do have a few things I would like to bring up. First off,
Mhm.
Cameron Brink is back. That's really exciting, especially for a Sparks team right on the fringe of the playoffs. Not quite in the standings just yet, but almost there. She returned after a year injury. The ACL injury kept her out 13 months. Her debut was 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, and 1 block. And then she had 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and 3 blocks in a double overtime game. So welcome back to her, and she has made a great impact just in the little time she's been back so far. So that's been great to see. Another thing I've seen is Chloe Bibby, who was signed by the Indiana Fever, somebody who was playing overseas previously, and then was signed by the Valkyrie, and then waived by the Valkyrie for some reason. She was signed to a 7-day contract, and then she averaged 9 points, 50% from three, and 85% from the free throw line, and then was signed to a full season contract smartly by the Indiana Fever. So that's great to see. And then she has 24 points in 29 minutes during her time with the Fever. If that's not efficiency, I don't really know what is. And then Fever of the 4 games over 500 for the first time since 2015. Um, Kelsey Mitchell, the longest tenured Indiana Fever player, was a sophomore at that time. So if that goes to show how long ago that was.
Wow.
And then my last point was the Liberty. Ben, you brought it up a little bit.
Mhm.
They lost 3 in a row to in July. Then they just lost to Connecticut, who had 4 wins going into that game.
Yeah.
It's looking rough out there. They're dealing with a lot of injuries to Jonquel Jones, Ionescu, Kennedy Burke, and Brianna Stewart. I don't know if you all know, but that's 4 of the 5 starters. So they're having a pretty tough time out there in New York. They did sign Stephanie Talbot and Emma Mieseman. Emma Mieseman, somebody who's been a Finals MVP before, so that's a big time get for them. She hasn't played since 2022, so she's had a rough start in her debuts, but something to look forward to in the future. But these injuries, they're going to have to figure something out because it's looking real ugly right now in New York, and they're in a fight again today with Connecticut as we speak.
Mm.
And if they lose 2 straight to Connecticut, that's just pretty unforgivable, no matter who you really have out. But yeah,
Yeah.
Brianna Stewart, there's no timetable for her return, much like my Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark, no timetable for that return either. That's concerning, especially a
Mhm.
team that had hopes of winning a championship again this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, that's a lot. That you were long winded, but you had a lot of great points in there. One more thing, storyline I'd like to add. I mentioned it before. The Aces sitting right at 14-14. What a what a game last game though. Very impressive game from the Aces, and more so the Lynx.
Mhm.
Lost 111 to 58. Um, second largest win in WNBA history, largest road win, if I read it correctly, and it's just ugly. And that's just what this season's been for the Aces. They'll win 3 games in a row. They knocked off the Valkyries, Wings, and Dream, then lost to the Fever and the Lynx. Then they beat the Wings again, beat the Sparks, and then they lost to the Lynx. So I think the thing with the Aces, they're just one of those teams sitting around 500. They'll beat the teams they're supposed to beat, but they just really haven't consistently competed with the teams they're supposed to compete with. And there's still time to turn the corner. You got Asia Wilson, so um, outside of that, you got some decent players, um, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, but it's just not working. It's just not working right now. And I feels like they could be one of those teams that maybe figures it out come playoff time, but really, until I see it, I don't see it with this team.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely have
Yeah,
that
for sure.
championship pedigree, but I think the thing that is hurting them the most is how much they undervalued Kelsey Plum when they sent her out the door.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
hurts a lot, and they haven't really been able to figure out how to fit Jewel Lloyd into the offense. She's coming off the bench, and she's had better production doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I have no idea. She should be a starter, They need to be able to figure that out. But at least they have figured out what works best for her for the system that they want to run, at least. But
Mhm.
yeah, tough time for the Aces who, repeat champions just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But we will move on now. And since the last episode, are there any overreactions that we'd like to talk about? Colton, I'll go to you first.
Uh, I had one prepared and now it just slipped my mind. But I can just stick with the dream. I really am loving the dream right now, and I think that they will be in the finals, probably against the Lynx if they don't have to face them before then.
Ben?
Yeah, I like that. My overreaction this week, guys, is the Los Angeles Sparks are going to make the playoffs this year. I since the All Star break, this team they have flipped the switch. I mean, let me pull up my notes here. I apologize, but yeah, like I mentioned, a strong start to the second half of the season. Everybody's healthy, and getting Cameron Brick back is a huge boost for this team. I mean, as of right now, they are playing really great basketball. This offense is elite, and when you look at their last 10 games, though, they are 7-3. So arguably the hottest team in basketball right now. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing what this LA squad can do moving forward. As I believe they got the Fever and the Storm coming up. So yeah, I just have this feeling they're going to keep the momentum going, and they're going to punch their ticket to the postseason.
I really enjoy that take. Something I hope they don't do is overreact to the trade deadline and trade one of their pieces that are playing well right now to
Mhm.
work ahead for the future because I think they have a really good squad right now. But we will see how that goes. Mine is I think the Lynx may be the best team in WNBA history. They are 15-1 at home.
Mhm.
An easy win against the Liberty, who that was supposed to be a very highly anticipated finals rematch. They're the closest team in talent, and the Lynx are winning games by 10-point differential. They're 24-5, and they beat the Aces again on the road by 53, the
Mhm.
largest win on the road in WNBA history. Now, Nafisa Collier went down in the last game against those Aces. Hopefully, it's nothing serious, but if this team continues on this trajectory, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be considered the best team in WNBA history.
And how about the trade for Carrington?
That was crazy. The rich get richer.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly
no
what
kidding.
Dallas is doing. Maybe they're trying to free up some space for the trade deadline that's coming up, but that is a great piece that can knock down some shots and is a crazy all time defender. So good on Minnesota for picking Dallas's pockets. Dallas likes to trade pieces they shouldn't. Anyways, we won't get into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Uh,
Dallas is just having a hell of a time in sports right now. Like basketball, football, it's whew.
and
Yep.
they waived Sierra McCowan as well. She's going to be a great post player for a competing team to get. Another move I really don't understand by the Wings, but I
I like the
digress.
Aces to pick her up.
For sure, yeah, that's the first team that should be looking at her, but because Nelissa Smith is not working out as much as they had hoped when that trade was made.
Mhm.
But we are going to skip Foul Flop this week to give us enough time to go through our first top 10 lists in this NBA offseason for this first week. We're going to start with top 10 players to never win a championship all time. So, Ben, do you want to go first? We're just going to go around uh, as we count down and each one explain why we have them where we do.
All right. So starting off at number 10, guys, I got Steve Nash. Has put up amazing and consistent numbers during his NBA career. Obviously, he's a two-time NBA MVP, one of the most skillful point guards in the NBA. During his career, though, he's had great offensive teams with the Suns and the Mavericks, though, but unfortunately did not have one of the best defenses to get him that elusive first championship. But yeah, in my opinion, though, I just feel like Steve Nash, he's one of the most underrated point guards in the NBA, and it definitely sucks to see him not have a ring.
Yeah, yeah,
Colton?
I agree with that one. I had two honorable mentions: Chris Webber, Grant Hill, in their primes could easily have made this list if they had longer primes. It's funny I say that because there's probably a couple people. I had a very interesting way I went about this list in terms of there was definitely accolades involved, but it was a lot of I was thinking this guy at his peak really deserved the championship. But anyways, at number 10, I have Pistol Pete, 5-time NBA All-Star, 1977 scoring champ, 2-time All-NBA first team. Pistol Pete, man, absolute dog. Especially in college, maybe his college is what's got him so high for me. But just absolute legend. And if I remember correctly, he's the one that said he'll play 10 years in the NBA and die at like he doesn't want to die at like 40. I think it's 40. I forget. I just remember like one of those like really weird like stories about him, and he ended up passing away early. So yeah, that's Pistol Pete, number 10.
Fair enough. For me, at 10, I have Patrick Ewing, New York Knicks legend. 21 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, and 2 blocks per game. 3 times All Defense, 11-time All Star, 1986 Rookie of the Year. Probably would have won a championship if not for some guy in Chicago. But just the times he played in. So an all-time great player. Maybe one of the first stretch bigs that were really known for that as well. So he kind of made the blueprint for what a stretch big looks like. So he is number 10 for me. Ben, who you got at number 9?
Number 9. I got Carmelo Anthony. Obviously, he's a 10-time All-Star. Was a great offensive player during his 19-year career in the NBA. Won a national championship at Syracuse, of course. One of the best scorers in my lifetime, and he was a great player who shot the 3 ball really well. And I mean, just growing up, he was such a great player. Though was on a lot of great teams, and it definitely sucks that he doesn't have a ring for sure. But yeah, I got Carmelo Anthony at number 9.
Yeah, I'll be honest, and I feel so bad. I forgot about Carmelo Anthony.
Really?
I feel like, I mean, I love Melo. How did I not think of him when making this list? Definitely an honorable mention to Melo. That's on me. That I'm a terrible analyst. How did I not? Oh my gosh. Anyways,
I mean, you could make an argument for him not being on the list. It's not a
yeah,
good argument, really, but
yeah,
you could make an argument.
I would probably slot him in if I would have thought of him off the top of my head. I probably would slot him in around 8. But I'm an idiot. I didn't have Carmelo Anthony. My bad. George Gervin, though, is my number 9. I think he's one I would put down as maybe one of the more underrated players of all time. 12-time NBA All-Star, 7-time All-NBA. And he played in the ABA, has a couple All-ABAs to his name as well. He's on the all-time ABA team. He was a 4-time scoring champ and averaged 25 points for his career along with 5 rebounds. Shot 50% from the field. I mean, just an absolute legend back with the Spurs, and really a long time. Like, it's not like sometimes a lot of these people on these lists had some primes that were a short prime, and that's why they kind of don't get talked about as much. I feel like we don't talk about George Gervin enough. And his time in San Antonio, maybe it's because he was in the ABA, but I mean, he put together, I'm reading here, like 12 to 13 really good years, and then retired at the age of 33. So George Gervin, know the name.
I like it.
Hopefully that cleaned up my ball knowledge question.
No, that's a good one, yeah, for sure. Me and Ben, great minds think alike. I also have Carmelo Anthony at number 9. 22 points per game, the 3rd pick of a loaded 2003 draft. 2013 scoring champ, 10 times All-Star, 3-time Olympic gold medalist, and arguably one of the best Olympic players of all time, and one of the greatest scorers of all time. I'd say he's top 5 ever. So Carmelo Anthony never really had that great of a supporting cast around him. Is it partly him to blame because he never played defense? Sure, you can make that argument, but he is one of the best scorers all time, and it kind of took away from the fact that he didn't play defense. Like, you didn't pay attention to that as much because he was that elite of a scorer. So Shout out to him. He is number 9 on my list. Ben, who you got at number 8?
Number 8. I got Mr. Triple Double himself, Russell Westbrook. Obviously, like I mentioned, Mr. Triple Double during his NBA career. He's a 9-time All Star, one of the most athletic and aggressive players in NBA history. I mean, he deserves a ring. I mean, he's such an underrated point guard. After all, he has produced a lot in his career, and hopefully, there's still time for him to get that championship. But yeah, in my opinion, Russell Westbrook, just growing up watching him, he's one of the most underrated point guards, and he's always an exciting player to watch, especially the numbers he puts up with those triple doubles. He's definitely one of the best point guards for sure, without a ring.
I like it.
To be clear, I did this on people who have retired. I did not put any current players in there. Chris Paul, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook all would be on this list probably. However, I just stuck with the all-time not in season. So just to clear myself as to why they aren't there. At number 8, I got Dominique Wilkins. Absolute. Wait, can I read? No, I can't read. Reggie Miller is number 8. Dominique Wilkins, spoiler, is my number 7. But Reggie Miller, Pacers fan, you knew I was going to put him on here. Like, it's pretty obvious. Longevity in Indiana, just absolute steady scorer, led that team. And much like Patrick Ewing, if not for some dude in Chicago, probably would have ended up getting a ring. But also, if not for Ron Artest and the Malice at the Palace, could have gotten a ring that year as well. But all in all, just for his longevity, what he did keeping Indiana relevant throughout the 90s and early 2000s, I can't not put him on this list, so I'll slide him in at number 8.
For me, at 8, I have Tracy McGrady, 19 points per game, 2-time scoring champ, 7-time All-Star. In my opinion, the biggest what if of all time. If he doesn't have injuries, I think we're talking about him as one of the top 10 players of all time. So he didn't really have much of a supporting cast either. So he could have made some noise during his healthy years, but I think the second best consistent player on his team was Yao Ming pretty much for his whole career. So not saying Yao Ming isn't formidable, he is, but if that's your second best player, I don't know how great of a shot you have at winning a championship. But yeah, Tracy McGrady, one of the best scorers of all time, and in my opinion, the biggest what if of all time. He's at 8, but he shouldn't even be on the list. He should have won a championship and been healthy for his whole career. But I digress. Ben, who do you got at 7?
Number 7, I got Patrick Ewing. Obviously, one of the best centers of all time in the NBA. 10-time All-Star, 3-time All-Defensive NBA team. He was a powerful leader for the Knicks, and yeah, it's if it, like you guys mentioned, if it wasn't for some dude in Chicago, he probably would have won a NBA championship. Excuse me, but yeah, arguably the biggest, the greatest big man of all time in the NBA, and yeah, definitely would have been nice to see him go out with a ring for sure.
All right, so as I spoiled earlier, I got the human highlight film, Dominique Wilkins in at number 7, 9-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA. He was a scoring champ in '86. He played for many teams. He had a pretty decent, long, I'd say about 10-year prime, where he was getting MVP votes and making the All-Star game, but just never was able to bring home an NBA Finals trophy. 30 points per game one year. He averaged on his career 24.8, along with about 7 rebounds per game. So, I mean, another guy, I feel like he definitely gets talked a lot more than Gervin, but because he played later through the 80s and 90s, but still just an absolute freak of nature. The human highlight reel was not given to him for no reason. Atlanta legend as well with the Hawks. Always got the pictures of those old Hawks jerseys, but not talked about. He ended up in Los Angeles playing for the Clippers, Boston, San Antonio and Orlando. Always read about those portions of his career, but still crazy. He never was able to win a ring. Would have loved to have seen him. Would be around to see him play. Would have been fun. So got him at number 7.
All right. Apologies, Colton, on the miscommunication because this 7 is where I have my first current player. Number 7, I have Russell Westbrook. 21 points per game, has won MVP, 9-time All Star, multiple time All Star MVP, and holds the record for most triple doubles ever. 4 seasons averaged triple double, and we thought that was a record that would never be broken or touched again. And he did it 4 times, and it's really never talked about like anything special, even though it's one of the most insane statistics the NBA has ever had. Also, 2012 runner-up for the NBA title on the big 3 that just happened too early. So that will always leave a fond memory in my mind for sure. But Russell Westbrook, there are some bad blood with his Laker days, of course, but I do respect the time that he put in as an elite point guard, and he is the first current player that makes my list at number 7.
All
Ben, who do
right.
you got at number 6?
Number 6. I got Allen Iverson. 11-time All-Star, the best pure scorer in the 2000s. Excuse me. Lived up to the hype after being the number 1 overall pick in the 1996 draft. Winning 4 scoring titles. Won the 2000 NBA MVP, 2-time All-Star MVP. He was hard to handle on the court though, and he was an elite scorer. And in my opinion, though, obviously one of the most underrated guards in the NBA. I mean, as much as this guy's accomplished in his career, though, it's would have been nice to see him with a ring. But yeah, I got Allen Iverson at number 6.
Number 6 is where I have Steve Nash. Loved the flow back in the day. Decided to bring it myself. Not quite as long, but absolute legend of the sport. You mentioned the accolades: 8-time All-Star, 2-time MVP, a 7-time All-NBA. Just an absolute dog. With the point guard on one of the most prolific offenses in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, late 2000s, whole time. 7 seconds. That's Steve Nash. I think he's one that definitely doesn't get talked about enough. And those Suns teams, they just played a wicked defense. Maybe they could have ended up, or had Shaq in his prime, maybe they could have ended up, doing something. But still, an incredible career from Steve Nash, and definitely gotta give him a shout out and be talked about during this time. And Alex, I am disappointed I didn't throw in Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook, but I'm glad I'm getting some time to talk about some players that I feel don't get talked about now. So
For
it
sure,
worked
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 7 seconds or less offense was one of the most exciting offenses to ever watch in Phoenix. So for number 6, I have John Stockton. And listen, OLEDs, please don't come after me. I know you all respect this guy greatly, but I just feel like him and Karl Malone kind of crutch each other's career. So still really respectable to be number 6 on this list. I feel like 13 points per game, 10 assists per game, 9-time assist leader, 2-time still leader, 5 times all defense, 97 and 98 runner up because of that guy in Chicago, 10-time All Star, and the all time leader in assists and steals. Listen, that's a great Hall of Fame career. He's in the Hall of Fame. He should be. He was a part of the dream team. He should be. But he got to play with one of the best power forwards of all time. And they need a little credit too. So that's why he's at number 6 on my list.
Gotcha.
Ben, who you got at 5?
Number 5, I got Chris Paul. Obviously, one of the greatest point guards of all time in the NBA. 12-time All-Star. He can play both ends on the court, offense and defensively. He has the ability to create shots for his teammates. An elite ball defender, has the ability to create turnovers. He's tasted the finals a couple times in his career. He led the Rockets to the 2018 finals, led the Suns to the 2021 finals. But, of course, Giannis ruined his moment. He was obviously a beast that year. But, yeah, it's Chris Paul. He's definitely accomplished a lot during his career. And who knows, this could be his last season this upcoming season with the Los Angeles Clippers. And now that he's joining James Harden and a couple others on that team, it'll be interesting to see what they can do if they can try to pull off a championship. But yeah, I got Chris Paul at number 5.
Yeah, in theory, 2 players on this list could be knocked off if
Yeah.
if things go their way.
Yep.
Patrick Ewing is who I have at my number 5. The big pad Hoya Destroyer. I don't even have. We talked about it. 11-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA. One of the best centers of all time has been put it. Yeah, if not for a guy in Chicago, he would not be on this list. So, absolute demon, making the Knicks relevant throughout the 90s and the 80s, and also a Seattle Supersonics player. If you didn't know, that's my favorite part of looking at these basketball reference. I took note of like the random teams they ended up at the end of their career. Seattle and Orlando is where he ended his career, which I'm sure everyone knew that.
Shaq Celtics. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that one. Hard to forget Shaq on the Celtics.
Yeah.
But 5 for me. I will openly admit I might have favored the current players on this list more than the older players. So again, old heads don't come at me. But number 5, I have Charles Barkley, 22 points per game and 11 rebounds per game, 1993 MVP and runner-up in one of Jordan's years as MVP, 11-time All-Star, and one of 4 players to 20,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 4,000 assists. I have him here because I don't even think he was the best power forward then, but I feel like you could make that argument if you wanted to. Power forward, big man, whatever you want to call him. Charles Barkley is right below the guy I have next on the list, so that's why he's here. Ben, who do you have before?
Number 4, I got Reggie Miller. Obviously one of the best 3-point shooters in the game. 5-time All-Star, Hall of Famer, one of Michael Jordan's biggest rivals. The thing that I like about Reggie Miller the most was not only was he a great 3-point shooter though, but he showed up in clutch moments during his career. He made them so consistently, and he was a difficult defender or a difficult player to defend. But yeah, as much as with everything that he's accomplished during his NBA career, with being a great 3-point shooter, showing up in clutch moments, one thing missing was that ring. And yeah, it's definitely a shame that he's on this list for sure, because he's definitely up there as one of the greatest players of all time for sure in the game.
I got John Stockton. We're at 4, right? Yeah, John Stockton at number 4. One of the things I think that goes underrated about his career was his durability. I mean, looking at this list, he played 82 games from his rookie season all the way to when he was 34. He had one season where he played 78 and 90, but from 1985 to 1997, this dude played 82 games a year. I mean, that's just incredible. Very impressive. And throughout all of that, he was MVP candidates, All-Star, All-NBA. Like Alex said, Karl Malone was definitely helped a lot in that. Karl Malone would be on this list, but he's a terrible human being, and I just don't feel like putting him on this list. So I admitted him. But if I'm being just purely analytical, yes, Karl Malone is on this list and probably right above John Stockton. But John Stockton does deserve loads and loads of credit for his time in Utah, and one of the greatest point guards of all time, no doubt. Well, also averaging 14 assists per game is insane. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I really hadn't thought about how many games he played. He did play a lot. And that, what would you say, 12 seasons in a row where he played 82 straight?
From 85 to 97. So, yeah, there was one season with 78 in there, but played 82, right around 82 games that year, and then 82 for all the other seasons in that stretch.
Talk about things that'll never be touched again. Is that record's not being touched again for sure.
Michael Bridges is the only one that has a chance.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't have morals, so I have John Stockton's teammate Karl Malone here at number 4. 25 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, runner up in 97 and 98, 2 times MVP. That's really the big reason I have him over Charles Barkley, winning the MVP just one more time. 14-time All Star, third all time scorer, and 4-time all time defense. I feel like he was the biggest part of that Utah duo. So that's why I have him just a little bit above Stockton and a little bit above Barkley as well because he just had more success in his career. Ben, who do you have at 3?
Number 3, I got the beard, James Harden. 11-time All Star. Made the All Star team 11 times. Excuse me. 3 scoring titles. One of the best elite scorers in our time. A great 3-point shooter. Still has a shot this year with the Clippers with Bradley Beal and Chris Paul. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if James Harden and Chris Paul can try to make it off this list and see what they can do next NBA season. But yeah, I feel like James Harden, he's one of the best players from our time, and he's always an elite player to watch. Had a lot of great moments growing up watching him. So, yeah, it'll be nice if he can try to close out his career, if he can get that first NBA championship with the Clippers. But, yeah, we'll see what happens down the road.
All right, at number 3, I got Hawks legend Tracy McGrady. Last season of his career was in Atlanta, believe it or not. But yeah, you guys talked about him earlier. Biggest what if in NBA history. If he stays healthy, if he even when he was healthy, had a healthy stretch, he had a team around him that could compete. I mean, 7-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, 2-time scoring champ, and most improved player in 2001, if you cared. But had time in Toronto, time in Orlando. Houston was probably his best shot. And didn't quite get it done. But still, I mean, just an incredible player. Averaged 32 points per game in 2003. I mean, come on now. 32 points a game in that era is just incredible. And yeah, T-Mac, only he had a team around him during those stretches. And if he was able to stay healthy, he's definitely on the opposite end of John Stockton on that spectrum. Also, I looked at it, if you're curious about Mikal Bridges, 5 out of his first 7 seasons, he's played 82 games. So he's the closest thing we have to John Stockton.
That's crazy.
Never thought I'd say that, but in terms of that, he is. But yeah, T-Mac at number 3.
Very nice. For 3, I have Chris Paul, 17 points per game, 9.2 assists. The 2018 conference runner-up with the Rockets. If not for injury, that could have been very different. 2021 finals runner-up, and Giannis had to go berserk. He averaged basically 40 that finals. So insane all-time performance from him. Chris Paul, assist leader 5 times and steal leader 6 times. 12-time All-Star, 9 times All-Defense. One of the best point guards ever played the game, and I'm glad he announced that he's going to retire, so we have a time and a season to fully give him his flowers because he definitely deserves it. Wish it was as a Laker, but that's okay. I'll get over it. Probably, maybe not. We'll see. But Chris Paul is here at number 3 on my list. Ben, who do you got number 2?
Number 2, I got Charles Barkley. Obviously, one of the best power forwards in the history of the NBA. In 16 seasons, he went to the playoffs 13 times. He's an 11-time All-Star, an 11-time All-NBA selection. Went to the finals 1 time in 1993. Lost to Jordan, of course. Leading scorer for the Dream Team in 1992, averaged 20-plus points per game in 11 consecutive years. He was a player that could rebound, and he was a great passer, and making him an elite player all around, and went to the finals. Yeah, he did go to the finals in 1999 with the Rockets, but got injured and was forced to retire. So I just think about that 1999 finals. I just think, what if that injury didn't happen? And yeah, I feel like he's definitely a top 2 player that should be up there as one of the greatest players of all time to never win an NBA championship. So, yeah, I got Chuck at number 2.
Absolutely, Ben. I was not laughing at you talking about injuries. I was laughing at the uniform change we had
Yeah.
going on in the background. But who do you have it to?
Charles Barkley. No, I'm just kidding. No, I got Allen Iverson at number 2, and if I'm going off of talent alone, I think Allen Iverson might be the greatest player to not win a championship. Doesn't have the longevity of some of the other ones, but still an 11-time All-Star, 4-time scoring champ, 3-time steal champ, 7-time All-NBA, MVP in 2001. Stepped over Tyronn Lue, and then that was really about the only chance he had at a championship. But also like Dikembe Mutombo, Eric Snow, like that's what he was working with. So to be able to bring that team to the finals and win a game against the Shaq and Kobe Lakers is honestly a technically an NBA Finals in my book. Probably just biased there, but yeah, love the truth, love AI. Dude was my wallpaper until Damian Lillard became my wallpaper. So got to give AI his flowers, and I got him at number 2. And that I would say, I also wanted to point out that I think the top 2, at least maybe top 3, would probably stay the same even with current players on the list for me.
Mm-hmm. And that jersey is like top 10 all time in jersey vibes for sure.
I think
Oh,
I think I'm just gonna wear it today now. Like I didn't even think about it. I was just like, oh, I got
As you should.
now I'm going ice skating later. I'm just gonna wear this ice skate. Actually, I probably should not. That would probably damage this. But yeah,
for number 2, I have James Harden, 24 points per game, 11-time All-Star, 3-time scoring title, 2018 MVP, 2012 Sixth Man of the Year, and was the runner-up in the finals that year as well. 2019 MVP runner-up, even after averaging 36 points. How that happened, who knows? But probably the best runner-up MVP season ever. And he's also one of 2 players to have 27,000 points and 8,000 assists. He may be the original free throw merchant, but you can't put up video game numbers like he did, almost make the finals, if not for injuries and stuff, and put up this kind of historic performances for a long time, have the highest over-under ever in NBA history. So James Harden, all-time scorer, an all-time player, number 2 on my list to never win a championship. So Ben, who do you have as your illustrious number 1?
All right, my number 1 player topping off this list, gentlemen. Despite him being a terrible, terrible human being, I do have Karl Malone, and I'm probably going to regret it. But
completely fair take. Completely fair.
Yep. But despite all that, he was an elite scorer for the Utah Jazz for 18 seasons, a 14-time All-Star, a 2-time MVP, 4-time All-Defensive Team, 3rd in NBA scoring. I feel like he's the most deserving player to get a ring. But with everything that this guy has accomplished during his prime with the Utah Jazz, like the numbers that I mentioned, he'll probably be on a lot of people's list as one of the greatest to never win an NBA ring. I mean, I got Karl Malone at number 1.
My number 1 is Charles Barkley, 11-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA, MVP in '93. I think he is the greatest player not to win it. I mean, there are so many nicknames here on the list. Like that just tells you right there, right? Like, no, but some of the teams he had, it comes down to a guy in Chicago once again. Like he had some great teams. Do not sleep on those Phoenix days. Have Kevin Johnson, right? And then I'm trying to think about the other guy. Oh well, I'll sit here and think about it forever. But no, those Phoenix teams were absolutely nasty. And it's crazy he never did get a ring. He was on the Rockets for a couple years. Should have gotten there like a year or 2 earlier, and then he would have won one. But oh well, you can't pick or choose. Those Phoenix teams were very capable, but just wasn't able to get the job done. But an absolute legend of the sport to be able to do what he did, and at the shape he was in, but just the skill he had. And good Lord, there's so many. You got Sir Charles, the round mound of rebound, the Chuckster, the Chuck Wagon, the Prince of Pizza, the Incredible Bulk, the Leaning Tower of Pizza, the Bread Truck, Boy George, Love Boat, Food World, the Crisco Kid, Wide Load from Leeds, Ton of Fun, and Good Time Blend. I don't know if anybody has that many nicknames.
So we can make a top 10 of that list. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
we
yeah,
make a top
yeah.
10 from his nicknames. We'll have to do that next week.
Oh yeah,
No.
for sure.
Alex, who you got at number one?
Number one may not be agreed upon, but I have Allen Iverson, in my opinion, the
Hey, let's
most
go.
influential player of all time. Changed the way you're allowed to dress, changed the way you're basically allowed to talk, especially in press conferences and things.
We talk
Had
about practice.
If we did a top 10 finals moments, I think him stepping over Tyronn Lue definitely makes that list. So, and just to talk about his accolades, 26 points per game, 11-time All-Star, first pick in that historic 1996 NBA draft, and then followed that up by winning Rookie of the Year that year, four-time scoring champ, three-time still leader, and was the runner-up against the Avengers, one of the best teams to ever win an NBA title. Would they lose one game that year? And it was that one that AI stepped over Tyronn Lue. So Allen Iverson may not be the most popular pick here, but he is definitely mine for best player to never win a NBA title.
I mean, just look at this roster. Raja Bell, Tyrone Hill. Let me put an order of points per game. Theo Ratcliffe was the second best scorer on the team that made the finals. Eric Snow, Dikembe Mutombo, George Lynch, Aaron McKee. Like, those are solid players, but you need somebody else. Good
Right.
Lord.
That's
Yeah,
LeBron
no,
taking Cleveland to against the Spurs.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, Allen Iverson, he's my number one. I put Charles because I thought that's what everyone would have, and then I realized, you know what, Allen Iverson, that's the best. I've been talking to it. All right, Alex, I'll give you
I
your show
respect it.
back.
All right. Well, we will now move on to see who knows ball as we pick our winners of the week for the biggest WNBA games coming up. So the first one I have is the Sparks at the Valkyries, Saturday, 8 p.m. on WNBA League Pass. Ben, who you got?
I'm going with the Sparks in this one. Obviously, they are the hottest team in basketball right now. They're off to a strong, strong start in this second half of the WNBA season. And when you look at that offense as a whole, though, I mean, everybody's really scoring. They're putting up 90 plus points the last few games. And I just feel like they're going to continue the momentum. And with Cameron Brink back, that's going to be beneficial. And yeah, I love this team right now. And like I said, they're going to keep the momentum going. So give me Los Angeles.
Colton, who you got?
Yeah, I've been in love with the Sparks since the season started. But that's just a little different. Los Angeles is my pick though here. I think they're a team on an upward trajectory, whereas Valkyrie has kind of just been chilling around 500, which isn't a bad place to be. But I think the Sparks are going up, whereas the Valkyrie are just right here. And yeah, Ben's got me convinced.
Yeah. Um, the Valkyries, they are without Caleb Thornton for the rest of the season, so that kind of hurts their chances of really making any noise. And the Sparks are hungry for a playoff spot, so I got the Sparks here for pretty much all the reasons you all just mentioned. And then the second game I have for us is the Lynx at the Liberty. After having to wait so long for these finals rematches, we have like three of the same matchups in like 2 weeks, so it's awesome. But that's Sunday at 12:30 on ABC. Colton, who you got in this one?
I got the Lynx. I trust the Lynx, the Liberty. It would be a much more entertaining and exciting game if I knew what the injured reserve was going to look like. Hopefully empty, but it probably will not. A lot of questionable timelines, and just that just hurts a team. And when you're going up against a team that's firing on all cylinders like Minnesota, I can't pick any other way. So give me the Lynx to get the win and continue their strong season. And like you said, possibly one of the best teams, if not the best team of all time in the WNBA.
Ben,
Yeah,
who you
Colton.
got?
Yeah, Colton, I 100% agree with you, dude. I'm going with Minnesota as well. I mean, when you look at New York right now, they're dealing with all sorts of injuries, and I with the season that Minnesota's been on, I mean, they're 23-5, I believe, and um, yeah, I just feel like they're going to continue the momentum, though. I mean, especially with that offense, though, that's going to be hard to defend when you're dealing with a bunch of injuries. So, yeah, I got Minnesota in this matchup.
I believe that Nafisa Collier is going to play in this game just because of anger and spite from last season, even if she is injured. So if Nafisa's playing, I'm picking the Lynx. Again, I think the best team in WNBA history. The Liberty have too many unanswered problems right now with their injury history, and if Mieseman and Talbot are not playing like they hoped when they were signed, it's not going to be pretty. I think it's a little closer than the first game because it is in New York, but I still got the Lynx in this one. And
Yeah.
then
So we
now
live
it's time.
together and die together on this one.
Absolutely, we cleared the graphic on that one. Now it's time for our shooting star, where we pick our baller of the week. Ben, you want to go first with that?
Yes, sir, I will. My shooting star of the week, gentlemen, I got Kayla McBride from Minnesota. When you look at her game against the Las Vegas Aces yesterday, she scored 24 points, went 8 for 11 on the field, and 8 for 10 from 3-point range. I mean, that's a stat right there. I mean, she definitely proved in that game she's one of the best 3-point shooters this season, and she showed up big. She showed up big and a big statement win for Minnesota, winning 110 or 111 to 58. So, yeah, Kayla McBride, she's my shooting star of the week.
Colton?
I'm gonna do a little callback to my Allen Iverson rant and put Theo Ratliff as my baller of the week,
Respect.
my shooting star for being the second best scorer and a defensive player of the year candidate. I mean, Mutombo won, but I wasn't familiar with Ratliff's game. I didn't realize he was in DPOI as an All Star. Like, I didn't realize that. So shout out Basketball Reference for making me change my shooting star this week to Theo Ratliff.
I think he even got a season in the Big Three, but that's neither here nor there.
I
Um,
did, didn't he?
I think so. So yeah, baller of the week every which way. Mine is Cameron Brink, just returning after a 13-month injury, ACL injury. I thought it would be slow, where she would play maybe 5 minutes and not really have much production, but it comes in and immediately hits a three, and obviously impacts on the defensive end with steals and blocks. Gives the Sparks depth that they need, and just a hope for the playoffs. They may not get there, but I think they will, and I'm excited to see the progress they make on that end. So she is my shooting star of the week. And if
All
we
right.
don't have anything else, that will
No, I'm
do it
just
for.
I'm just in shock that Theo Ratliff was my baller of the week. I don't think anybody 1,000 like Doctor Strange sees all those different realities. I don't think that was one of them I saw, but
I was about to say, I think Allen Iverson had to play with Samuel Dallenberg a lot in his career too. So
he
like,
did too.
I
Yeah,
feel like he should
legend.
be number one on many lists of never never to win an NBA championship. But thank you
Yes.
all for watching. That will do it for this episode of the Restricted Area Podcast. Thanks to Ben and Colton for being on the show. Subscribe to the CX Podcast Network for more sports shows like NFL, MLB, and NASCAR. And keep an eye on the North Benchwarmers page for exclusive interviews. Follow us on all socials at CX Pod Network. And then follow me on Twitter at The Will Deal and Colton at Colt_45. That's three T's. And Ben, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Ben Miller PXP.
And since we've done all our pleasantries, until next time, you all be smooth.